Los Angeles, sitting courtside at UCLA's historic Pauley Pavilion less than an hour before he was scheduled to call the game involving his alma mater, Jalen Rose adjusted his Tom Ford glasses and pursed his lips. The former Michigan basketball legend sat down with the Free Press to catch up on life, including both his second home in Southern California and his thoughts on the resurgence of Detroit sports, for which he proclaims, "It's our time," but clearly his heart was most pulled when discussing his former Fab Five brother. Juwan Howard, the ex-Michigan Hoops coach who was fired after the 2023-24 season by athletic director Ward Manuel after leading the Wolverines 8-24, 3-17 to the worst record in program history, coached the second half of last season after an open heart surgery in September. "My whole thing with Juwan, you really want to know the truth, there he goes going to get in trouble for saying what he really thinks. He had heart surgery. He probably should have stayed out that whole year," Rose said Tuesday evening. "That's probably what I would have did." When asked if Rose tried to tell him that at the time, he smiled and said, "No comment." Rose said that he and Howard's support system all supported the decision he wanted to make, but that doesn't mean there weren't signs at the time maybe it wasn't quite right. "I remember watching a game, they were playing against Purdue. Phil Martelli was coaching the team," Rose began. "There was a call that went against us and he grabbed his heart. And I was like, points finger. But he's the kind of guy that was, I recruited these guys. I brought in these transfers. I got my son onto the team. I tell them I'm going to be in the trenches for them every day, so if I'm alive then I'm gonna coach." That was his line, "If I'm alive, I'm gonna coach." The Wolverines began the year 5-5 before Howard and then strength and conditioning coach John Sanderson got into a verbal disagreement which led to Sanderson leaving the team. Won its first game that weekend at Iowa, then went 2-19 in its final 21 games. It's not that the Howard tenure wasn't without its positive moments. Howard went 82-67 across 5 seasons in Ann Arbor with 2 trips to the NCAA tournament, including an Elite Eight appearance in the 2021 season that saw him named AP Coach of the Year. While Rose enjoyed those days, personally his favorite moment came last year when the Fab Five all reunited in person at Chrysler Center for the first time since their playing days 3 decades ago. Though things hadn't gone the way Rose or Howard would have drawn up, Rose said he tries to take a page out of Howard's book in embracing what's happened. "I think the way it played out is the way he'd do it all over again," Rose said. "That's what I admire again. And we've learned as men, as alums, as adults to still overcome turbulence that may seem like it exists directly or indirectly with the school." Chris Webber coming back was major. "I remember all of us meeting that morning and I was like, this is really happening, I can't believe this is happening until we're at the game. That right there, during Juwan's final season, that's what it's all about."